It was one of those rare nights when everyone actually showed up, friends, colleagues, even a few familiar faces we hadn't seen in years. The restaurant was elegant, dimly lit, candles flickering softly, and jazz playing quietly in the background. I had spent hours preparing. Hair curled just so, the perfect shade of lipstick, a dress that hugged my curves in all the right places. I felt radiant, confident, ready to enjoy the attention that social events like this always seem to bring. The evening began beautifully. Stories were shared, laughter bounced around the room, and the gentle clink of wine glasses punctuated every conversation. Someone joked about secrets, another teased about youthful escapades, and soon the discussion turned to relationships and past flings. Maybe it was the champagne. Maybe it was the thrill of being admired. When someone playfully asked me about my number, I smirked and replied, "Let's just say it's impressive." Laughter erupted around the table. Glasses were raised in mock toasts, a few eyebrows arched in playful shock, and the jokes bounced back and forth. I laughed too, basking in the attention, until I noticed Daniel. My husband sat across from me, quiet and composed, hands folded, posture relaxed. But there was something in his stillness that cut through the room like a knife. He didn't smile. He didn't frown. He simply watched me, calm, controlled, unreadable. The laughter around us faltered, conversations pausing as people glanced toward him, waiting for a reaction. Perhaps they expected a joke, a chuckle, or embarrassment. But Daniel offered none of it. His gaze met mine, steady and unwavering, and suddenly the air between us thickened. My pulse spiked. There was no anger, only quiet authority, the kind that speaks louder than any shout. Then, deliberately calm, he said, "Is that how you see yourself, or how you want them to see you?" The words lingered, heavy, like a storm held in pause. His tone was gentle, almost tender, yet carried a weight that silenced the table. Forks hovered midair. Conversations died mid-laugh. Even the waiter froze, uncertain if he should continue pouring wine. Heat rushed to my cheeks. My earlier confidence crumbled, leaving something fragile and small behind. I tried to laugh it off, but Daniel's eyes didn't waver. He leaned forward slightly, voice calm and possibly grounding. "The choices we make," he said, "don't just make good stories. They define who we are, the respect we show ourselves, and the people who love us." No one moved. No one spoke. The tension was uncomfortable, delicate, deeply human. I wanted to disappear. My clever mask had cracked, revealing something I hadn't expected to confront. The truth. Then Daniel reached across the table and took my hand. His touch was gentle, reassuring. "I love you," he said softly, his thumb brushing my knuckles. "But I hope you love yourself enough to think before you make yourself smaller for a laugh." The sincerity in his voice broke something open inside me. It wasn't anger, it wasn't shame, it was clarity. He wasn't trying to humiliate me. He was lifting me up, reminding me of my worth, and the boundaries I'd neglected in my need to be noticed. The others shifted awkwardly, murmuring small talk to fill the silence. The waiter returned to his duties, pretending nothing had happened. Yet the mood had changed completely. The easy laughter of earlier was gone, replaced by a reflective calm. I sat holding Daniel's hand, unable to meet anyone's eyes. The candlelight flickered softly between us, forgiving and quiet. I realized in how thoughtlessly I had treated something sacred. Not just my marriage, but my dignity. I had aimed to appear confident and carefree, but all I had shown was insecurity dressed as humor. The rest of the evening passed quietly. People ate, talked, and smiled, but something inside all of us had shifted. When it was time to leave, Daniel placed a hand gently on my back, protective and tender. I didn't need to speak. The message had already settled deep inside me. As we walked to the car that night, I understood something profound. A single calm response can hold more power than anger ever could. Daniel hadn't raised his voice, scolded me, or embarrassed me. Yet in a few quiet words, he reminded me who I was and who I wanted to be. By the end of the night, I realized that real respect isn't demanded, and love isn't proven through jokes or bravado. Sometimes it shows up in silence, in presence, in the truth that humbles you and helps you grow. Sitting there under the soft glow of the restaurant lights, surrounded by fine china and fading laughter, I understood that Daniel hadn't just silenced the room. He had taught me what grace truly looks like.